Taking a step back, 100 years ago, most of the diseases were infectious diseases, and they've now moved to exactly what you talk about in terms of insulin resistance based, self-inflicted diseases, because we're literally doing it to ourselves. And the environment that is around us. What's the single largest factor that has changed and shifted the world to this direction?
I think there are two predominant sort of issues. You know, if cardiometabolic disease and insulin resistant would be like the plague or the sort of influenza pandemic or AIDS, you know, those infectious diseases kill people in weeks or months and sometimes a few years. But the problem with diabetes is it takes many, many years. One of my favorite stories is like, and many people have heard this, about the frog. If you put a frog into boiling water, the frog jumps out. Yeah. If you put the frog in there and then you heat the water up, what happens? The poor frog dies in the pot. Yes. And really that's what's happening with diabetes. You don't wake up on a Monday morning with a heart attack. Yeah. It's been 10, 15, 20, 30 years in development. So you go through functional changes, which then become structural changes, which then becomes the clinical event, either a stroke or heart attack, cancer, or the clinical event. But they are all happening over a period often of decades, 2 to 3 or more decades. So I think besides that nature of the timing, which we've just talked about, the second factor is the diet. What has changed in the last 100 years? The biggest single change in the last 100 years has been what's happened in terms of our sugar consumption, our grains, and also these fairly toxic vegetable oils, particularly when you heat them.